Right. Hey, welcome to the as yet untitled football show. It's the football show. Ooh. It's the football show. Welcome, hello to the Hitsville football show. I'm Matt, and I'm here to take you on a wonderful tour of the football. So a while ago I said I would start this series of videos, and I posed some questions to the audience to see if there's anything I could expose some interesting critiques of the football world, as it were, for this episode. So a couple of the questions I got in. Number one, Fricky asks, "What's your take on Dortmund's situation right now? Cause? Resolution?" Well, let's have a look at Dortmund. Dortmund, of course, kind of the darlings of everyone's hearts a few years ago. In 2012 and 2011, they won consecutive Bundesliga league titles, which, considering Bayern Munich exist, is pretty preposterously difficult. Obviously, Bayern Munich have had far and above the best German team in Europe for an absurdly long time now. And obviously 2011, 2012, Jurgen Klopp kind of came to the peak of his powers, and he had obviously the spectacular talents of Shinji Kagawa, Robert Lewandowski, Jakub Błaszczykowski. Marco Reus came in after that, but obviously he's still an important player for them. They had Sven Bender, they had Ilkay Gundogan, all those players, all very talented young and mostly German players, with the exception of Lewandowski and Błaszczykowski, obviously, and Lewandowski. Oh, I said that. Such a mess. And this year, the 2014-15 season, Dortmund have just fallen to bits. A very easy way to attribute the problem to something is to say, Robert Lewandowski's gone. Right? So, you look at the Dortmund side this year. What's missing? First of all, Bayern Munich now have Robert Lewandowski. He's not scored a lot of goals for Bayern Munich, but it's not the point. He scored a lot of goals for Dortmund, and a lot of goals. In the 2013-14 season, in 48 appearances, Robert Lewandowski scored 28 goals, got 15 assists. The previous season, in 49 appearances, 36 goals, 13 assists. This season for Dortmund, they've scored 18 and conceded 26 goals. So if you consider, Robert Lewandowski scored more goals than Dortmund have conceded this season already so far. So that's one player, 28 goals, and they've conceded 26, and they've only scored 18. So without Lewandowski, they've got players capable of contributing 18 goals in half the season. That's terrible. That's awful. That's relegation form, which is why Dortmund are sitting in the relegation places. Hamburg this season scored 9 goals and are 3 places above Dortmund in 14th. They're conceding too many goals as well, so not only is it that Lewandowski's gone and they're just not scoring enough goals, they'd be sitting happily in mid-table. They'd be sitting in 4th with your Hoffenheim, who score a lot but concede a lot, your Stuttgart. The point is, they're not creating enough chances. They're just simply not this season, and they're not defending the lead. And in my opinion, I think it's time to replace Roman Weidenfeller, their goalkeeper. I think he's just simply too mistake prone for the type of football that Dortmund want to play without their 2 best centre halves fit. Considering as well that if you think about the fact that Mats Hummels, Neven Botic, when was the last time they were both fit and playing? It feels like years and years ago. I mean, they've both come back into form now. They're both playing again, but Hummels was injured before the World Cup, so Botic was injured for most of last season, and they were really lucky to finish where they were because of Lewandowski's goals. And now they don't have that, so if they want to succeed, they need 2 fit world-class centre-halves like they had, plus a world-class striker. I'm not saying, It's that simple, but I feel like the Bundesliga, not as complex a league as, the Premier League or Spanish League. If you have a goal scorer and you have defenders, you can have substandard midfield. You can have substandard, assists coming in because your strikers will be good. Marcel Schmelzer, Lucas Piszczek. Who? Fullbacks. They don't matter. Look at Bayern. Okay, they have one of the best fullbacks in the world, but they're playing him at centre defensive midfield. They're playing him holding midfield in front of their back four, making a back three essentially because Rafinha. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, Lewandowski's gone. So Dortmund have gone, okay, we're going to lose our best man on a free transfer. By the way, it's stupid. Sell him, you twats. Make the money off him. The replacements that they've brought in, okay, fair enough, they have enough money from reaching the Champions League final, from winning the league, from regular Champions League success. But you look at the replacements they brought in, Ciro Immobile, okay, top scorer in Serie A. You don't... a 5-year-old on a bicycle could win Serie A. Top scorer in Serie A. Whoa, I flipped a pancake with my pan and caught it again. Same thing. Serie A sucks. So in the league, Immobile in the Bundesliga, Immobile has 3 goals, 1 assist in 13 appearances. Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight. Adrian Ramos, Colombian forward. I can't even remember where they signed him from now. Oh, Hertha Berlin. Who? He wasn't even top scorer in the Bundesliga. Lewandowski was. Ramos has got 2 goals and 2 assists in 13 appearances. Right? What gives? What gives? Right? Here's what I think. You look at the Champions League campaign for Dortmund. Okay, they finished runner-up in the group, didn't they? Oh no, they won the group. Immobile has 4 goals and 5 Champions League appearances. Ramos has 3 goals and 5 Champions League appearances. Now, what is different from the Bundesliga to the Champions League? Okay, the opposition perhaps plays more open football because you have to impress in the Champions League. You have to score goals if you want to progress from the group stages of the Champions League. You look, the group stage is so much smaller that fixture to fixture you're looking, okay, so if we win this game and they lose, the other teams playing lose or draw, then that leaves us with 3 points and they've got 1. And you've got to look at it. It's so much easier to condense your focus into those 6 fixtures that you play in the group stages because they're so close together and you can see round by round the consequences of a win and a loss. Whereas in the league, you can say, okay, well, we lose this week. And I'm not saying that that's the problem. I'm just saying it's a lot of players focus better with the pressure of playing in the Champions League rather than the pressure of the league because, I know I'm the same. You think about, I spent all my money, but at least I had 5 donuts, What Dortmund need to do is convert their focus and their determination in the Champions League into a format that is compatible with the Bundesliga. They need to play the same way they're playing in the Bundesliga as they have been in the Champions League. Whether that's confidence, whether that's focus, whether it's that teams just are simply better. Dortmund need to play better, they need to reinforce appropriately. Shinji Kagawa, I love him. One of my favourite footballers from Germany in the past few years. Where, he hasn't been set in the world alight. He was incredible the season before he transferred to Manchester United. He was, spectacular. That's why United bought him. They need Shinji Kagawa to play. They need Marco Reus fit. Big ask, but Marco Reus fit is like a Lewandowski fit. He's got so many goals. He's just so important to the team, but he's been injured. Gundogan's injured, I think. Gundogan coming back from injury, massive change to the team. Although, I was saying before about midfield, Gundogan creates those chances, those high quality chances that, Immobile and Ramos can finish. against defences a little bit sterner and a little bit more focused than those in the Champions League. And look at important goals. Dortmund have lost against Schalke, they've lost against Bayern, obviously. They played a very good game against Bayern, but they lost. You look at players able of contributing important goals. You think of Marco Reus and you think of Lewandowski first and foremost from the past few seasons. You know, Lewandowski scored 2-2 appearances versus Schalke and 2-2 versus Leverkusen. You know, inarguably Dortmund's sort of closest rivals in terms of who will threaten their position in the league. If you think, oh well, they're not going to win the league this season, it's Schalke and Leverkusen are going to be challenging for those Champions League spots. He scored 5 goals against Real Madrid. There's nobody in this Dortmund team at the moment who's going to score 5 goals against Real Madrid because they've not got the confidence. They've not got 10, 20 goals and friggin' whatever in their back, in their back pocket going, I've scored these before. Why not try and do it against Real Madrid? Why not try and do it against Bayern? Why not try and do it against Schalke or Leverkusen? There's just no one there. So, in conclusion, confidence, competence, midfield, synergy, Dortmund. Anyway, this has been this week's episode of Hitsville Sport. Maybe this month. I haven't decided how hard this is going to be to do this every week. So, this will be this week's episode, and we will this month's episode, and we will take your questions. Send them into Hitsville UK. I'll answer them. Next week's episode, I will go into less depth about more questions. I will be wearing a different t-shirt. Alright.